All right, hey everybody, this is Zachary Comeau, Executive Editor of CE Pro. Today I'm joined by Dan Augsburger, the U.S. Sales Manager for Residential Business at LEA Professional. Dan, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure. Good to meet you, Zach.
And yeah, for folks who might not be familiar with you guys, anything you want to say to them, about why they should come check you guys out.
Yeah, I would say, in general, when it comes to LEA, we're still growing into the residential space. From the beginning, we've, largely been a commercial organization, but we've spent a lot of time and a lot of investment on the residential space applications and things of that nature. Just how can we take this robust, traditionally commercial grade product and take all the capabilities and make it more applicable to the residential integrator and the residential applications we're seeing. So. A lot more in store, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone at the show and sharing the story in more detail.
Dan, I know CEDIA is just around the corner, and we're going to talk about some exciting stuff you guys are going to be showing off there in Denver. But first, let's talk about your agnostic approach to integration with a bunch of third-party drivers and an open API. How does that make life easier for dealers?
Yeah, I think when it comes to your go-to amplifier, your amplifier standard, it's really nice and convenient to have a platform that jives with any control system. And at the end of the day, what that does for you is makes the process of designing a project as well as specifying the product that will go into that project quicker and easier. And I think that it really comes down to it allows our dealers to make decisions based on the desired outcomes of the end user experience as opposed to, this particular product doesn't jive with that one, and therefore we have to go with this one. It really is about never compromising control for amplification or vice versa. And at the end of the day, you can only add so much functionality to a driver out of the box. And I think that's really where our open API comes into play. And basically, it allows you to accomplish those niche tasks that can only be accomplished by a custom integration.
Excellent, thanks. Yeah, so your speaker tuning library now includes over 3,500 files across 35 brands. How do you guys think that this helps speed up deployment and improve consistency?
Yeah, I mean, when you're tuning an amplifier, for example, if you're making adjustments to the crossover settings or you're making adjustments to your equalization settings, the goal is always to optimize the performance of the loudspeakers being driven. And naturally, every different speaker out there has a unique frequency response, and achieving that same optimal performance consistently can be a challenge, and it can also be time consuming. So. Yes, from a speed to deployment standpoint, tuning files allow you to automatically configure an LEA amplifier based on the optimal performance of a given loudspeaker. And that's achieved based on some manufacturer provided settings or tuning parameters. Essentially, again, from a speed to deployment standpoint, you can do what's typically a 20-minute process in under a minute. And then from a consistency standpoint, it basically allows you, when you're using a tuning file, it allows you to start with the same settings that you've already, validated as optimal. And then just basically at that point, you just have to make adjustments for the room or adjustments based on the nuances of the application at hand.
Excellent. So let's talk a little bit about LEA's Dante strategy. I know every amp you guys offer is available in a Dante version. What sets your Dante amplifiers apart from other solutions on the market?
Yeah, in general, I think that Dante-enabled amplifiers, Dante-enabled products, just ultimately provide well, I should say they provide the ultimate signal flexibility or really flexibility of the overall install. So when it comes from routing a signal from one device to another. And we at LEA took that a step further by adding what we call the Dante on-ramp feature. And long story short is you have the ability to select whether that signal is being processed, or I should say, you have the ability to select at what point that signal is routed onto the Dante network. So simply put, you can utilize the LEA amplifier's DSP capabilities or functionality, and then route what I like to call a pre-filtered signal onto the Dante network and use that signal to drive through an amplifier that does not have DSP functionality built in.
Great, excellent. Yeah, Dan, your amps allow each channel to be configured, independently. Can you share any real world examples with us of how integrators do use that flexibility?
Yeah. So when it comes to LEA amplifier channel settings, whether we're talking about the input settings or the DSP settings or impedance settings, everything is unique to that channel and independent of the other channels. So for example, you can configure your amplifier's DSP settings based on completely unique speakers at the end of each channel. And when it comes to that overall concept in general, I think the common use case is, for example, a 4-channel amplifier. You can drive 3 channels of 70-volt speakers and then have that fourth channel driving a low Z 8 ohm subwoofer. And again, why that really matters to you is the LEA amplifier can really drive any type of passive speaker out of the box without compromising or the need for additional components.
Great. With web UI and cloud access, this allows integrators to make adjustments from anywhere. Does this help change service and support models?
Yeah, I think I'll try and keep this kind of, relatively abstract, but I think in general it's shifting from a reactive or on-demand support approach to a proactive report approach, and in general, kind of resolving issues before the end user ever becomes aware of the issues. So another example is kind of shifting from a scheduled approach or on-site approach to everything being able to be accomplished remotely and kind of in real time. So traditionally, the end user finds some sort of issue or wants to make an adjustment to the system, and they have to put in a service call, schedule a time for the integrator to come visit the house, as opposed to with our
Mm.
approach, you can receive that request and make adjustments in real time remotely. Another kind of approach, or I guess I should say another benefit from the end user or from the integrator standpoint is never having to roll a truck unless it's absolutely necessary.
Oh yeah, let's talk about what you guys plan to be showing off at CEDIA in Denver in just a couple short weeks. Any new developments or innovations that integrators should be paying attention to? I don't know, any insight from the commercial market that you plan to bring to this very residential focused show?
Yeah, so I mean, more so on the residential side, we made an update to our platform with a recent firmware update. We added what we call quick setup mode, and essentially it's all the existing settings that are just you could say structured in a way that's really efficient. So rather than having to go through let's say you're in a scenario you're not going to use a tuning file, you want to make a quick configuration or adjust your amplifier quickly based on a relatively basic install. Essentially what that does for the end user or for the integrator is takes out a lot of those commercial oriented capabilities and really focuses on what's applicable in every scenario. So that's on the software side. But then as far as seeing LEA at CEDIA, I'd be on the lookout for speaker collaborations as well as some unique collaborations with video manufacturers. LEA will not have a booth at CEDIA this year. We were not going to exhibit. We will likely exhibit next year. But as far as seeing the product at the show, we'll be at several different partner booths. And like I said, you'll be able to see the LEA amplifier on display driving some applications. And we're excited about that.
Can you tell us what boosts and what partners these are?
Yeah, so off the top of my head, one of our best partners, Snap One, will have an LEA amplifier at their booth. There will also be an LEA amplifier at the Sound Vision Technologies booth. We're frequently paired with True Audio outdoor applications. In addition, you're gonna be seeing LEA at the Leon booth. We are
Mhm.
integrating and collaborating with them on the outdoor audio install side. And kind of stemming from that, we have a indirect partnerships or indirect relationships with some video manufacturers, for example, Barco Residential, as well as Just Video Walls. There are going to be some installations at the show that will have LEA driving the speakers behind those installs. So
Oh, excellent.
looking
So
forward.
any idea how many LEA amps will be on the show floor?
Yeah, it could be anywhere from 5 to 10. I would say pretty sweet spot 7. Look for 7 at the show.
Excellent, great. Any last words before we all hop on a plane and head to Denver?
Safe travels, and we're looking forward to it. That's all I got for you.
Excellent, very good. All right, thanks very much, Dan.
Thanks, Zach. I appreciate it.